Hello, darlings, and welcome to Care Off Book. If you're new here, hi, I'm Care Darling, and if you're not, welcome back. And let's just get into it, okay? So on August 11th, 2024, the world turned its eyes to Paris one last time as the City of Light said au revoir to the Olympic Games. But let's be real, the Paris 2024 closing ceremony wasn't just a grand finale, it was a teaser for what's coming next. Get ready because in 2028, the Olympics is headed to my hometown, Los Angeles, California, baby. For weeks, the world had its eyes glued to Paris watching history unfold. Athletes from every corner of the globe competed like their lives depended on it, delivering moments of triumph, heartbreak, and sheer determination. And yes, even breakdancing. Shout out to Australia for that one. But let's be real, the closing ceremony wasn't just Paris's moment to shine, it was a chance for the athletes to come together, not as rivals, but as part of a global community that experienced all the highs, lows, and everything in between of the games. And let's be honest, I'm here for the entertainment. I hate to say it, but the Olympics is kind of like the Super Bowl for me. I'm usually watching just to catch the halftime show, so naturally I was all about seeing what kind of performance Paris would throw down, and of course getting a sneak peek of that LA flair. Spoiler alert, LA did not disappoint. The ceremony itself was a visual feast, with Paris showing off more air balloons because, of course, the French brothers Joseph Michel and Jacques-Étienne Montgolfier, I don't know how to pronounce that name, developed the hot air balloon right here in France back in 1783. But I've got to be honest, a lot of the closing ceremony was a bit of a snooze fest, okay? It kicked off with a choir and a solo girl singing, but from the get-go, I could tell something was off. The sound was a mess of echoes everywhere. It made them seem out of sync. But let's be real, the audio engineers didn't get it right since they were dealing with an outdoor setup. We see Leon Richard carry the flame, and then bam, we're in the stadium with athletes making their grand entrance. But wait, where were players like LeBron or Steph Curry? Maybe security couldn't handle the star power, or they had a game and they couldn't miss, so who knows?
Hi, my name is Trey. I have a basketball game tomorrow.
Carrying the nation's flag is a huge honor for any athlete. For Team USA, we had Katie Ledecky and Nick Mead proudly holding the American flag. They were chosen by a team vote, which is pretty cool, but I have to say, I was getting a bit annoyed because the commentators wouldn't stop talking during their walk. I get it, they have a job to do. They actually connected with Katie and Nick mid-walk for an interview, and one of the commentators was Jimmy Fallon. It was frustrating because Katie and Nick could barely hear them rambling on, and I just felt like they should have been allowed to enjoy the moment and soak it all in. Now let's talk about the main performance. It was like a dystopian tale where some gold creature comes to bring back the Olympic Games. Honestly, it was so long and drawn out that I started to wonder if we were ever going to get to the point. Sure, there were a lot of cool moments, like an ascending piano performance, but my main gripe is how it felt like the story took forever to unfold. And yes, I'm all for impressive flips and handstands, but come on, this is the Olympics. We've been watching that on a higher level for weeks. I just wish they spent more time actually telling the story instead of having the performers wander around in all darkness and fog. Oh my gosh, there was so much fog. The band Phoenix made an appearance, and I have to say, I loved it when they played Lasso, but I couldn't help but wonder if that's how they were supposed to perform, because they were just kind of stationary. Then the athletes stormed on the stage, and you could hear the announcer politely asking them to get off. Spoiler, they didn't, so security had to step in and escort everyone off. I love the songs, but the whole performance felt a bit off and awkward, like maybe there was a different plan that didn't quite happen. But listen, thank goodness we were finally lifted out of that darkness and fog and headed straight into the California sunshine to transfer the Olympic flag. We kicked off strong with her belting out the national anthem, and then she kept shredding on the guitar like a rock star because, of course, Tom Cruise was ready to jump in and make the transfer via motorcycle. Now, this is how the world sees America, rocking out and being freaking cool. Tom makes it on the plane, the skydiving, and making a beeline for the Hollywood sign. That's huge because it's actually legal for anyone to get near that iconic sign. That Hollywood sign has some pretty interesting history. Originally put in 1923 as Hollywoodland to promote a real estate development, it since became an iconic symbol of the entertainment industry. But here's the twist. By the late 1970s, the sign had fallen into serious disrepair and was on the brink of disappearing altogether. Enter Hugh Hefner, the founder of Playboy, who swooped in to save the day by throwing a lavish fundraiser at the Playboy mansion. Thanks to Hefner and some generous celebrity contributions, they raised the funds needed to restore and preserve the sign, securing its place as a timeless emblem of the Hollywood's glamour and history. Then we see Tom pass off the flag, and we see past Olympic athletes pass on the flag, and we're off to Venice Beach, where the Red Hot Chili Peppers took the stage. I can't even begin to explain the love I have for Flea, the bassist. He's the epitome of someone who lives and breathes music. If you ever watch James Corden carpool karaoke with them, you'll see Flea doesn't sing along with words. He's actually singing the bass part. I was a little surprised they didn't perform Californication, but to be honest, I'm not really a fan of that song anyway. Next up, we go to the other lifeguard tower where Billie Eilish performed her new song, Birds of a Feather. I thought she might go for Ocean Eyes or even Everything I Wanted, but honestly, we were just thrilled to have such a young, talented artist there, so she could do whatever she wants. Now, to wrap up the LA transfer performance, of course, Snoop Dogg had to make an entrance. For the millionth time, the audio was off, but once they got it sorted, I was thrilled to see the performance in all its glory. At the start, Snoop had a backup dancer, but let's be real, he didn't need her at all. Snoop is basically an honorary figure of the Olympics at this point. I mean, his reaction to the equestrian dressage routines during the games is something I'll never forget.
Look at that horse. The horse crip walking, cuz. You see that? Hey! Oh, this horse is off the chain.
And just when I thought it couldn't get better, Snoop brought in Dr. Dre, which instantly gave me flashbacks to the LA Super Bowl halftime show. I wouldn't be surprised if they both show up for the opening ceremony in 2028, since the stadium's right there in Inglewood. Snoop is hands down the most culture gangsta ever. I just can't get enough of him. He's talented, hilarious, and somehow always stays true to himself while never forgetting where he came from. In the end, the Paris 2024 closing ceremony wrapped up on a fitting note as the Olympic flame was extinguished and the world bid farewell to Paris. Isolde's soulful rendition of My Way closed things out. Now, if you're wondering if that's an American song, you're absolutely right. My Way, made famous by legendary Frank Sinatra, is actually based on the French song Comme du habitude. Oh my gosh, my French friends, please help me out here.
Comme d'habitude, comme d'hab.
Originally performed by French singer Claude Francois in 1967. While the music stays the same, the lyrics tells different stories. Francois' version dives into the pain of lost love, while Sinatra's My Way reflects on a life lived with few regrets. Ultimately, the only thing that really got me pumped during the closing was the American entertainment, which just makes me even more excited to see what LA will bring to the table for the world to enjoy. Merci Paris, until we meet again in LA for the 2028 Olympics. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the closing ceremony, and heads up, my next video will dive into what the 2028 LA opening ceremony could look like, so be patient if you got ideas on what the US should be bringing to the table. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe, and can we all agree that Snoop isn't just a national treasure, but a global phenomenon? Thank you. Until next time, take care, darling.